Oh.
Okay.
I don't need a packet. I'm not here enough to get a packet.
You are. I have one just for you.
Thank you.
And we got it.
All right, we'll call our meeting to order, 6:04. Public comment of non-agenda items is our first item. Seeing none here, if there is any online, whether it be on agenda or non-agenda items, as always, we'll accept that comment as it's received. Approval of our minutes from the last meeting.
So you're looking for a motion to accept?
The minutes of the last meeting. Yeah.
Accept.
Been moved to accept the minutes as presented from our last meeting. Was there a second?
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded to accept the meeting or minutes from our last meeting. Is there any other, as presented here, is there any other discussion? Discussion? All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, motion passes. Moving on to the budget.
Everything is still going good. We did get word, I guess I'll wait. I'm thinking for Bill to present at our April meeting, because we'll have cost share at March meeting.
Mhm.
So I don't want to make it last forever, so I'm thinking April, if that works for you guys, to go over his budget spreadsheet and how those things
You bet.
translate. Otherwise, all of our funds are doing well. We're still shopping around for a vehicle. But yeah, everything is in good standing.
Okay. Any questions for Jessica in regard to budget? All right, moving on to the ongoing business. Any update from the commission?
No, Debbie doesn't have any update. They are at Mako this week for training, so that's why she's not here today.
Grants and MOUs.
So what I was going to say earlier, they have opened up the agreements process for BLM. So Kevin and I are going to try to work out getting an agreement in place with the BLM for this upcoming season. Forest Service, we still have active agreements in the belts. Tracy and I need to check the status of our Elkhorns agreements. But we have work to do in the belts for this upcoming season.
Okay.
And then I think they're looking towards Confederate area. Yep. That's their money came from the fires, and so that's yep.
When you say belts.
Yep, it's the more the Confederate side of the belts.
Okay.
And then the NRCS is putting into place a program for the leasees to have to submit lead plans to the board for their allotments, so that their weed plans have to be approved by the board going forward. But I don't know when that's going to roll out. But they're going to start having weed plans submitted by the leasees for allotments. For the school trust, right?
Yeah, so I believe it actually starts this summer.
Okay.
But yeah, so the weed plans will go through us first, and they'll if we want to approve them, they'll approve them here first, and then NRCS will approve them second.
So to move forward on getting more funding for them and some enforcement on making absentee leasees, I guess, do what there's required.
I was gonna ask, do they expect us to police that then?
No,
or-
it's just that
okay.
they have to have the approved
The
process.
plan.
Yep,
Yeah,
and that we have seen it and approve of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And probably outline if there are things there that of our concern to us.
fair enough.
When, and maybe you don't know this, when are they thinking, they're thinking of the date of actuation, when are they thinking of having it closed?
I don't know.
Because there could be a lot
I think it's,
coming through, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
we could see a lot coming through for those, that month, 2
Yep.
months. So, with plans.
And would they have these plans submitted as renewals come up? Or
I think that's
as-
what they're planning, is that as they're, not everybody, but as they're renewing their agreements, then this is the process in their renewal. I think that's,
Okay, as they go out to
Mhm.
bid and, okay.
Yeah, and just to point out, because I had to look back in my notes during that meeting, they're also going to start a non-compliance with those leases as well.
but not run through us.
Yeah, so that would be through their own program.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah. I guess on that topic of noncompliance, there is a legislative interim committee revising the Weed Control Act. So they're working with Department of Ag, MWCA, and a number of us coordinators are on the panel, I guess I would say, to bring up our concerns with the weed law and where we think changes or flexibility needs to be made. And the guidance that we've received from MACO is that we need to dictate to the legislature what we want the law to look like, not let them tell us what it'll look like. So we're working with MACO. There's some really, really smart coordinators, and the Department of Ag are really kind of guiding us through that process. But we're hoping to make non-compliance, like while we have our process outlined, it's not the same statewide, trying to just uniform everything. So, and then looking at some other things like making sure that we have funding moving forward and different components. But it is getting revised. There are a couple of more meetings coming up in May and June. I can send those out to you guys if you're interested in hearing the committee meetings. Yeah, that works under grants and MOUs.
Okay. Any questions for Jessica in regard to grants and MOUs?
So is the BLM, is that the discussions around the BLM, is that a grant?
So they're an
Or an
agreement.
MOU.
So
Okay.
it works a lot like our kind of our Forest Service agreements do, where they say we will give you $50,000 to spend on the next 3 years on these chunks of the BLM. We want you to focus on Dalmatian toadflax in the Iron Mask area or spotted knapweed on Lone Mountain. Like they'll give us what
Okay,
they
so
think
there is
they're.
direction.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that's, I was,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Yep, okay, good.
Any other questions?
Maybe when Nathan speaks, maybe can he use that microphone?
Yep.
Does he want to take it down by him? Possibly, I don't know.
I'm good for now.
Do you want to drag your chair up to the?
Oh, I know.
You can just sit up here and I don't think your cord's long enough to reach your chair otherwise. Oh, maybe it is.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
All right, spray updates.
We're not spraying at this time, but like Grace has said to me earlier, we've seen some green up on some things like common mullein. So we are thinking that we will have an early start unless we get some kind of unusual weather patterns. But yeah, so we're just kind of waiting. Both of our seasonals are set to return We're kind of waiting to see if we want to hire that fourth one or let them pair and keep Grace as a floater. Maybe see how that starts the season and where we want to go.
Mhm. Everything's pretty well ready otherwise,
Mhm.
equipment-wise. Okay.
And we're ready to start as far as that goes.
Okay. Vehicles and equipment.
So like I said, we're still looking for another truck. So if you see something that you think might work, shoot us an email or a text and we'll get on it. Otherwise, our equipment is in good shape. We're ready to start the season. And they brought up in the commission meeting the possibility of buying storage units over out by the silos.
Mhm.
And if that goes through, we'll move some of our equipment over to there for the winter so that everything gets inside for the rest of the winter, assuming that everything moves forward.
Is that still pretty preliminary?
Yes.
Yeah.
So since I haven't been here, what are you looking for a truck?
Something similar to the Dodge that we have. A truck that we can set up as a tender that'll haul the side-by-sides. Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just
Wondering more
basic.
than anything.
Yep.
Anything else in regard to vehicles and equipment? All right, moving on to new business, discussion and decision on MDT highways bid packet and its wording.
So I gave you this document. This was what Mark and Mary had done the last time they formalized this process. So I thought that it would be worth us looking through it again to see if there are other changes that we want to make. And then as you guys find changes, you can send them to me. We can edit it and then approve it at the March meeting and then send it out.
Is there anything that jumps out at you?
There is not, but I
Right.
thought it would be good to get a new set of eyes on it.
Sure.
I think I might put something in about notification of unusual species so that we do get a quick notification if we come across new invaders.
That'd probably be a very good idea, especially on the southern end of the county.
I will say that our contractor was the one who identified the rush skeleton. It was his initial response wasn't as prompt as we wanted, but the next time he found it, it was within minutes. So
Yeah.
he did.
He's good that way, but
Yeah.
just have it in the contract
Yep.
just in case it's not him
Yep.
kind of aspect.
I guess the only comment I would make about the applications is just as per label.
Okay.
You know, in regards to, you know, a lot of comments regarding PSI and all that. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure that's as per label as well. But then it covers.
Mhm.
I'm surprised I got missed.
And then take a look at the roads and see if there's anything that jumps out as you is that you want to change. I don't know if it's worth breaking out the roads that we are comfortable as doing as a county, separate from the contract. Just because the 437, some of those ones that are less traveled, 285. Just a thought.
To omit them from
Mhm.
their bid.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess my inkling would be that if we feel we can handle them and plan to do them anyway,
Mhm.
I don't think there's any sense in asking a contractor to take the time to.
Okay.
Well, that was kind
Get 'em.
of the thing behind the other side-by-side is we'd start taking
Yep,
over
and-
some
Yeah.
of those.
That's right.
And totally understand, not the main one, but
Yeah, and then, like, I think that, you know, after some of the stuff, like that 287 to the, county line, from Three Forks to the county line, that, like, after what happened to the crew, like, I feel comfortable saying that maybe we won't do that in the next
Yeah.
upcoming cycle.
Yeah.
I would say so.
So, and then the other thing that I thought about putting in here is having the contractor coordinate with me and MDT for Deep Creek for providing the truck for them, the bumper truck as they're going through Deep Creek.
through the canyon,
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a bad idea.
no.
I think it'd be a really good idea, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was an incident with a contractor in the county in Powell County. I don't know if you guys saw anything about that. Where a contractor was hired by the county to do some herbicide applications along the Blackfoot River, and they drove
Out in the
through it.
middle of Mhm.
And the fallout of that was that the county and the coordinator were sued, and then they had to pay, but it did not fall back on the contractor. I don't know what steps we could take that would protect us for liability from that, but it's worth thinking about.
So tell me what happened, to
Um,
go through the river?
Yeah, so they had got a new toy, so to speak, that allowed them to drive through the bed of the river to do the herbicide applications. And so they drove through the Blackfoot River and were caught on camera by a bunch of fly fishermen. And while what they were doing was not necessarily illegal, they didn't get the proper permits to do that at the time. That was how those penalties were put on the county.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if the contractor and the county had gotten the permits to drive through that, the application itself wasn't the problem. It was the fact that they drove through the stream bed without the permits.
And it also didn't help you that the coordinator wasn't aware of
Yeah.
the equipment he was using.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because in the past, they've always used boats and backpack sprayers. And in this instance, he decided not to do that.
Yeah. And so there was the concern by the fly fishermen was the impact to the fish hatchery and the fish, and there's just a bunch of concerns were raised, but they hadn't gotten the permits that allowed them to operate the vehicle in the stream bed.
And there was a lot of other
Yeah.
issues that came up with that too after the fact.
So, I don't know, I think it's probably worth running through the county attorney. I
Well,
don't,
Yeah.
in the contract, you could almost put that if any permits or anything is needed, it is up to the, how would you word that? It's up to the
Responsibility of the court, of the contractor to
of the
obtain.
contractor to obtain and acknowledge to the coordinator, or let the coordinator know, some, however fancy words for that, would be the only way. I mean, then it's there, but because they had the signed contract, they've seen it,
they're acknowledging,
that it's all their responsibility, would be the only way to not have it come back on the county and you, Jessica.
yeah.
I mean,
No, and that was, it was a big concern for Powell County and the coordinator there. Like,
Yeah.
it was,
I
yeah.
could,
And she also got sued personally as
Mhm.
well in the aftermath too. Like she got drugged through hard.
Was there anything or any discussion at the conference on what counties can do to to protect themselves from that, or what language
There
can be put in these
was
contracts?
a little bit of a conversation in our Southwest coordinator meeting. She mentioned two things that she kind of said maybe needs to be added. One of them being putting what kind of equipment they can use, and what specific kind of chemicals was another one that she listed. Because that was another aftermath, was she found out they weren't using the proper herbicides for the area they were in. But she also said if we ever had any questions, we can email her, because she doesn't want to see anyone else through this situation.
Mhm.
Well, with Gord, if we put by label restrictions on the contract, and it's not under your spray license, it falls back to the contractor's spray license.
Right.
So we're covered that way. If we put in the contractor is obligated to get all permits and follow permits, that takes care of your litigation against that for the proper permitting for the stream bed, even if it's legal. I think we'd be covered on those two aspects on most of the problems they've had, if I'm thinking that correctly.
Yeah.
We should, I mean, not saying some lawyer might not find another loophole, but for the majority of that, I mean, if they sprayed off label,
Label.
it's their, if we had Gord's thing in, it's their butt, because they're off label. And the permit's their permit.
Yeah, I think that changing the liability and responsibilities to say that the contractor shall follow label.
That's a good one to have in there no matter
Yeah,
what.
but it doesn't explicitly say they should follow the label in the contractor's responsibilities.
No, and I'm surprised.
Yeah,
The last one, we missed that.
Yep.
I'm very surprised.
So yeah, my intention was for you guys also to run through this and see if anything else jumps out at you, and then I'll make edits. And then we could approve it at the March meeting.
Okay.
I might put together a rough draft of a couple of these outlines and send it out to you guys.
That'd
for
be
the,
great.
Please.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably run my rough draft through the county attorney's office as well, just to see if he flags anything. But yeah, please send me your
sounds
edits
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyway.
Yep.
And then admit all the roads that you
Yep.
feel comfortable doing in your rough draft.
Yep.
All right. We'll spend a little time with this, and if there are any edits that come up, send them through to Jessica, and we'll review that again next month. Any further discussion regarding the MDT highway packet?
I guess this is a as per label discussion as well, but restricted reentry, I mean, what kind of liability is there if somebody, they know that it's sprayed and somebody has a
thought
flat tire?
Restricted reentry only applied to worker protection standards. So I thought that
Okay.
those were guidelines for workers entering, let's say, a cropping system after treatment, not incidental interaction.
Okay, does that include restricted use products too?
I believe so. I think I think they're under the worker protection standards, not under the general label. But I will double check that. But
Okay, I was just wondering if we need to have signs up for a day or whatever.
we'll look at it. But I
Okay.
thought that they fell under worker
Oh, well,
protection
that'd be
standards.
great if that makes sense.
Yeah, just because their level of exposure would be continually higher than somebody changing a tire.
Yeah.
So I will double check that.
Yep.
Anything else before we move on? All right, discussion and decision on update to the county weed list process.
So I think that we printed a outline of the kind of how the process would go, where we would draft a resolution as a board for the weeds that would be enforceable under our non-compliance agreement. And then we would present that resolution at a commission meeting, and then it would go to 2 more commission meetings for public comment and then voted on. So currently, we have, I totally lost them. I don't have the one in front of me. Oh, there we go. We have musk thistle, black henbane, burdock, and perennial sow thistle. When we updated our plan last year, we didn't do the process for Palmer amaranth, so we have to put that on our list for this year because we didn't follow this resolution process. So my thoughts are Palmer amaranth and common mullein. Because we've been asked by the Forest Service and the FWP for common mullein so that they can include it in their agreements. Do we have other plant species that we'd like to add to our county list that are enforcement species?
So water hemp is not yet an enforcement species?
We can add it.
Yes, then I think we should add that.
But yeah, so basically the ones that we can enforce on landowners are musk thistle, henbane, burdock, and perennial sow thistle. So we just have to put I think we should put everything we're interested in on this list and do a resolution for all of the species that we're interested in adding in one, rather than doing separate resolutions.
Is perennial sow thistle on other county lists?
I think it's on 5 of them.
Okay.
I can double check. The Department of Ag just sent out a new list with the county. All right. It is on Deer Lodge, Liberty, Mar, Ponderay, and Tool. So yeah, and ours.
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot worse weeds in that one, but
So like,
if
and I
it's
think this
already
is,
on the list, I think we're fine.
I think this is our opportunity to add things.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys are concerned with?
Hundreds and thousands of.
But like,
I mean,
I
define
guess,
concern.
but I think the thing that like we're seeing that landowners are experiencing a problem with it because this will let us either do grant funding or they're not treating something that we think needs to be treated. Are we running into anything?
Have you got all 3 types of knapweed on there?
That'd be, the knapweed would be.
They're on the state list.
State list,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Knapweed would be the only other one I can think of right offhand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the state listed weeds. So this
Okay.
would just be things.
But all 3 of them?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
good.
And if you guys want to think on it, I'm going to work on drafting an outline for the resolution. So if you guys want to think about things, we can come back. I don't think that so some of the counties around us, we have like garlic mustard in Lewis and Clark County. Myrtle spurge has been brought up. I have not encountered it in Broadwater County.
Yeah, that's more for like the lower counties that border Idaho
Yep.
and Wyoming.
And then, there was one more that we talked about.
Leafy spurge is on the state list.
Yep.
Yes.
And Dyer's Wood is on the state.
Yes.
list.
Yeah. That's, yeah. I thought the
Yeah,
state
a lot
list
of our
in front of
big-
me, I gotta remember what's on the state list
Yep.
and what we have different on the county list. But one time we did have baby spread.
Yeah, when we moved it down to a level 2 county weed because we haven't seen it leave the cemeteries in a long time.
Okay.
We, I mean, we can put it back up,
No, that's-
and it's on a number of counties' lists.
Yeah, it's,
Um,
but you find a cemetery and then start going around it.
and like we had this discussion in 24.
Yeah.
But we can like
No, I was just, I don't think, I think that's fine where it is. I mean, most of the people around the cemeteries know where it is. And
yeah. I
Kinda
mean,
pretty hard.
I guess my thought of we're not running into a problem with people not wanting to control it.
Yeah, it was
Um,
bad.
Yeah, it was
10, 15
before,
years ago.
kind of before my time, but it was bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so which 3 are you adding?
So, common mullein, Palmer amaranth, and water hemp.
Okay.
And could you run through the list that's on it again?
Yes,
quick?
so musk thistle,
Yep.
black henbane, burdock, and perennial sow thistle.
I can't really think of any more. It wouldn't be on the state list. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
Nap
Benton
weeds.
had and Medusa had her on the state list as
it,
well.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have to look at the state list and start going through them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only way I'd remember which ones are which.
There's only 36.
There's only 36.
Only. 3 of them are woody invasives.
Yeah, so, I'll rough out a resolution, I'll send it out to you guys and the county attorney and clerk just to make sure our language is in the right place. And then if you guys have any edits or suggestions for species,
Yeah.
because those conversations, we don't have to approve it as the board because we're doing the resolution, so if we have comments or questions, we can bring that up during the resolution process
Sure.
too.
Yep. Well, maybe give that some thought between now and the next meeting too.
Yeah, and we don't have there's no deadline for this process, so we can work on it as we desire. So there's no rush. If we decide we want to wait and discuss it again in March, that's totally reasonable. We don't have a deadline. We're well ahead of our plan process.
Okay. Anything further on the county weed list? All right, I guess that brings us to the round table. Anything?
Yes, so I knew that I had a thought when I was talking about this that I wanted, you were not at our last meeting. We talked about the kind of explosion of common buckthorn that we found. Has Allison talked to you about that?
No.
Okay, so,
We're going this way, okay.
so we had a resident bring in a specimen that got identified as common buckthorn, and Grace and I went out and toured her property with her, and it turns out she had a very large population there. And then as we were kind of curious, we started kind of cruising the roadsides, and we found a lot of the right-of-ways on the backside of the lake were full of common buckthorn in various stages. So our plans are to do some surveillance and write a grant to do treatment and removal.
Can we
So-
put it on the county list?
It's on the
It's
state
on the
list.
state list.
No.
So that's,
And
yeah.
I'm trying to help.
It was brought up also on the Ranchers Roundtable
Yeah,
that
and
Allison
so-
put on as well. And we had she had Megan Hoyer come in and do a discussion on woody invasives, which kind of got the conversation going too.
So that was just had to catch you up on the big news.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Uh-huh.
And then Grace and I attended the MWCA Weed Conference with Peter last week, and as usual, lots of really good information. One really good thing that I think is going to come out of it is the Montana Heritage Project is going to start sending out coordinator reports, and on those reports are going to be any reported new species. So the counties can identify species of concern, and the Heritage Project will alert us when those species are identified in the county through all of the systems that feed into the Heritage Project. So that's iNaturalist, EdMaps,
It's another one.
Survey 1, 2, 3. There's a couple of
Yeah,
programs
there's a couple of them.
that report to the Heritage Project, and that'll let us know if somebody sees a species, and there's some kind of checks and balances to the system. So they're not just somebody identifying, Gerber daisy is oxeye daisy. It's, vetted through different levels.
That'll be handy.
Yep. So that's kind of an exciting, because it's right now it comes to him, and unless we go look for it through their system, it doesn't make it back out to us necessarily.
Oh,
So,
I didn't know that.
He'll be now helping out the coordinator support group too.
yep.
That was emailed out today.
So that's kind of it for me.
I'm just here, guys.
Question.
I'd like to mention several things at the round table here. One of them is I want to formally thank the board for sending me down there. It was extremely worthwhile. I only took 9.5 pages of notes, if that tells you anything. And I would like to mention to you something that came up. We were briefed by the head of narcotics enforcement for the state of Montana on some concerns, which I could see could be literally life and death for our crews. And that is regarding methamphetamine shows up out there. If the crew or any of you ever see a soft drink content bottle with white powder in it or crystals in it, for God's sakes, do not touch it with your bare hands. It could be terribly dangerous.
On that note, one of the things that is really nice about our spring training that we do as the Southwest area is that we've had different levels of law enforcement come out and talk to our crews at those trainings about those shake and bake bottles.
Yes, that's
And-
the next thing I was going to mention, the
Yep.
shake and bake.
And basically that you don't touch the trucker bombs, basically not to pick up trash along the roadside.
Exactly.
And anything you don't know what it is,
Yep.
don't touch it.
Yeah, it can be it could explode in your face, as I understand. Another thing is that, are you aware that we have a director of the Montana Weed Control Association in the room here?
Oh, I'm on the board again.
Okay.
I'm just a director at large for the next 2 years.
I wanted to be sure we all knew.
It
that
was posted on
Jessica-
Facebook today.
Oh, good.
The WCA posted all the people who got involved this year.
And secondly, there was a bit of a competition down there identifying noxious weeds. And I can't think of her name, but someone who was down there with me came in exceedingly high on that,
Okay.
really knowing her stuff. Do you remember her name by any
No,
chance?
I don't.
Jessica really.
Jessica
really
kicked my
did
butt.
great.
I don't know.
It doesn't help that I like bugs.
But another thing is I found that once again, the group is very dedicated, inclusive, and a very close organization. And I felt very, very much at home there, and I learned a hell of a lot. I really did. So I thank you all for approving me going down there.
I'm glad you could go.
Thank you.
haven't been here enough to know. Okay. Can you come back to me?
Sure can.
I have nothing.
Gord?
Well, last week I talked, or month, I talked about the water hemp thing, but just so you know, the Montana Seed Trade Association formally petitioned the Ministry of Agriculture to create, to have this discussed and formally introduced as a water hemp as a restricted noxious weed with zero tolerance in the Seed Act. So,
Nice.
Good.
And who was it that requested that?
the Montana Seed Trade Association.
Montana
I'm a
Seed
director.
Trade.
Seed Trade, yeah, MSTA.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I'm a director of that organization. I've been for, it's almost like a life sentence.
It's like all board appointments.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything else, Gord. I guess for me. All right, back to you.
I don't really have anything.
All right, well, put on your calendar over there, March 18th.
Fine, you tell my
At
wife not to go
6.
every time. Have meetings on every Tuesday.
Oh, we're glad you're here. March 18th at 6 will be our next meeting. Are there any other announcements?
I have
we
not that I
gonna-
can think of.
More adjourned.
So were you going to send something to us in advance of next meeting?
Yes.
To discuss? Okay,
Yep.
good. Thank you.